Good evening, folks. This is Deb, Dave, and Christopher Walis, and we are here to talk about Donald Trump dismantling not only the federal LGBTQ plus hotline, suicide hotline, but defunding the Trevor Project's hotline by taking their money away. And this is unconscionable, but I do want people to know, and Dave, I don't know if you have this, that Canada has made their hotline available as well.
I haven't, but I'll add it. I'll add it.
So
Okay.
I believe they've put in a number that people in the United States can use to access their hotline in a pinch. So
Okay.
we're going to start talking right now. I'm going to turn this over to Dave and mostly Christopher, and we'll go from there.
So when I saw that Christopher was organizing this or helping or getting a venue, working with local organizations, I immediately looked into the Trevor Project, and the way it was first organized, it came from the idea of an Academy Award-winning short film called Trevor, which was about an LGBT child, teenager, who was considering committing suicide. Now, the reason it got to me is that whether you're straight, gay, a minority, a woman, whatever, anyone who's been bullied knows bullying. People are made to feel less than, and people are having resources taken away from them, which tell them, hey, you're not worth it. This all is unconscionable. I do have some sources, the Trevor Project and all of that. What I will also say is that the LGBTQ community, and specifically the transgender community that Nancy Mace is talking about, you're demonizing an at-risk group, which teenagers especially internalize things. And we all know that Nancy Mace is an evil shrew, but some people may not. And this is harmful, and this is violence. Telling people that transgenders, if they go to the wrong bathroom, they should be given the death penalty because they're dangerous and all of this nonsense.
Yeah, now she's running for governor of South Carolina and promising to sign that into law.
Right.
This is just, for me, over the top. All of this is just not right. It's not the way we do things in America. This is not the way this should be. A perfect example, it's not just trans people. Now Donald Trump apparently is screaming at homeless people in Washington, D.C. to tell them to get out of town. It's nothing like kicking people when they're down. And that is exactly, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. That has been the MO of the Republican Party for decades. They're not what I would call a compassionate party. And right now, they're a fascist party.
And also a story that we put in here as a source where Donald Trump basically said about people with mental disorders, why don't they just kill themselves? Why don't they just die and, get over their misery? Some transgender people are not only do they have disorders, they also are homeless, some of them. Especially in New York City, we had that whole, walking while transgender law that was taken out off the books. All of this needs to be amended, all of it. So enter Christopher Walis, who I met on TikTok, and he was beyond despondent, and I'm very, very happy that he has used his voice in a positive way, and I'm just going to let him basically talk about the event that he has helped organize, get a venue for on Long Island this Saturday, a Trevor Project event. Take it away, Chris.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. Um, it'll be this Saturday, Saturday coming up, August 16th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It'll be in Deer Park. Uh, I assume you'll have the registration. You'll have that link.
The source is in there. Yep. The
Okay, yeah.
mobilized link is in there. Yep.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'll be in Deer Park, 11 a.m., 2 p.m. It'll be it's a necessary event. It's something that hasn't been talked about too often. There's a lot of bad things going on, so I understand why this hasn't been talked about so often. We have people being abducted off the street by these thugs, ICE thugs, whatever you call them.
That's a good word. That's a
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah.
description.
Uh, so I understand why this issue's kind of taken a back seat because you have people being abducted, but I think it's a good time to talk about this and address it and talk about how it's affecting the community. And even that we live in New York doesn't mean that LGBTQ people are safe on Long Island. You have Bruce Blakeman in Nassau County who has made it his mission to attack the LGBTQ community, to do whatever his king tells him to do. Um, so we're gonna have a
Well,
lot of
Bruce Blakeman, and we've talked about Bruce Blakeman on here a lot. He's a Nassau County executive, and just understand that these local guys, they do have a lot of power in the county. We need to get rid of
yep,
this guy in terms of voting him out. And we'll have, I could put information on there too. Um, Seth Kozlow is running against
yep,
him, and we're pushing for him as hard as we possibly can because anyone calling for any kind of violence or devaluing someone, that should be a disqualifier right there. Go ahead, Chris.
absolutely.
So I'm gathering that what this whole event is to raise, is it to raise money?
It is in part to raise money. We give people the link to be able to raise money, but it's also just to have this discussion. I decided to add the Trevor Project into it just so something, no matter what happens, even that, because a lot of it's going to be doom and gloom. Like, we're not going to be talking about happy things at this town hall. It's going to be a lot of negative things. So I figured the one positive that could come out of it is at least maybe we could raise some money for this suicide hotline
Yep.
that is only relying on individual donations at this point.
Which is which makes everybody's participation in this important, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
Chris, do you have any young people who have gotten involved and gotten plugged in to this event?
I've had the help
Have
from Assemble LI, which is all made up of young people. They put together they have this wonderful group of people, Assemble LI. They've really given a lot of moral support, we just had a meeting the other day to organize this town hall. They've been a big help. Definitely been a big help.
And
And
just
some
so you know, I haven't reached out to them yet, but the moment we drop this, I'm giving it straight to you and to Assemble Long Island, as well as any other group that's willing to take it. I've already talked to Shoshana of Suffolk Progressives. This is not only about raising money, but also raising awareness as to what's going on, because I don't think that people get this. Governance is about resources. And when you take resources away, you devalue the people that the resources are going towards. So I do understand that it is going to be a little bit of doom and gloom because a lot of people are afraid.
mm, yeah.
Let's face it, Donald Trump isn't doing anything but casting doom and gloom over this entire nation, and especially, especially people who who are the most vulnerable people. He has absolutely no use for those people, and
Right.
that's that's just not the way we're supposed to be here in the United States. I don't care what anyone says. Um,
And
all of this, I don't even know how to describe it. This macho bullshit is all I can call it. I mean, it's like
Hmm.
it's disgusting on every possible level, and I can't imagine that the goal here is not just to get rid of Bruce Blakeman. The goal here is to purge as many people from the GOP as we can by the time the midterms come. It's got to
right.
happen. I mean, this is,
And,
this is do or die time. This is go time now.
and Chris, I think one thing I want to correct you on just a little bit. Multiple truths can be things can be true on
Yeah.
multiple fronts. It is an affront. We are interviewing. We interviewed Katrina Hernandez once already in regards to the illegal detainments. That's horrendous. But at the same time, he's treating the homeless wrong. He's treating people with mental disorders wrong. He's
Mm.
treating women wrong. He's treating the LGBTQ community wrong. He's treating Palestinians wrong. All of this, saying nasty things about minorities. Multiple truths can be truthful at the same time, and I think people are afraid. Oh my God, they're not talking about me. I'm not included. We're all included. That's
Right.
what I want people to understand. And the campaign against Trump when Walsh and Harris ran, they tried, but this whole division and these groups seem more important than that. No, we all should be treated like human beings and valued.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, Chris, when did you start really plugging in and getting involved and realizing that you could actually do something and make a difference?
Well, back in 2016, probably June of 2016, I started volunteering at the LGBT network
Okay.
in Bayshore at the time. I was a youth there. So it was a lot. It was a good outreach program. I got met a lot of people. It was a good summer I had there. Everything was fine. Then November rolled around that year, and the election happened. They were stunned. I think the whole world was stunned. I don't think anyone thought Hillary Clinton was going to lose. The network didn't think so because they had a whole emergency meeting the next day.
Yep.
Right.
They
Right.
didn't. They didn't think that. So that they were just taken off guard. They were completely shocked. So I started getting involved with them for a little bit. Did some just did whatever I could. I also started college in 2017, so I had other things that were happening that took my attention away. Um, but I took when Biden got elected, I kind of took a little break from like activism. Everything, the world was still a mess, but it seemed like a little bit better now.
Right.
So it's starting to go back to normal.
We are weren't the only one that thought that way. We all thought that way. I mean,
Right.
basically Joe Biden pulled us out of that hole.
Yeah,
He
well,
he did.
he did. Yeah, he absolutely did. Um,
And the most inclusive cabinet known to man, including Rachel Levine, who was demonized, but she did a fantastic job, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Um, yeah, so uh, I do think that people feel like they're on their heels right now, but it is time to fight back, Chris. I appreciate
it
you
is.
for doing this as well. Is there when you speak to your LGBTQ brothers and sisters, where are they right now? Are they in fight mode? Are they in depression mode? Or is it like a mixture of
Well, as you can imagine, a lot of transgender people are not happy. They're living their life the best they can, but they've also lived in a world that has been attacking them even before Trump was president, even a second time, even before that. This just really made it worse. Just Trump built his whole campaign. What really I believe, I mean, what got him elected? Now I have questions about the election. I don't think it was a legitimate election. I'll say that. I think it was rigged, but that's just my opinion. I think Kamala won, but that's a whole different.
When you
That's
put it
just
that way.
that's a whole different thing. But
I,
the
I
problem is this is a reality right now.
yeah, it is a reality. So we can't change the past. This is the reality. So what was I saying? Yeah, he got elected on hate. He ran campaign ads, commercials talking about transgender people, how Kamala is paying for trans people in prison to get surgery, or just a bunch of hate campaigns, false hate
He
campaigns on.
absolutely did that. I have to say, you're absolutely right. The transgender community was a focal point of his campaign. He really did.
Was it like one or two? It was like one or two prisoners, if I remember correctly. We actually did, we covered it a little bit. That whole propaganda
Mm,
campaign against not only they bundled it as a hateful little gift not only to Kamala, who didn't really say much about the transgender community
yeah.
to begin with, but then on top of that, he spread all this stuff. And I know, Chris, you have spoken against the whole transgender uh athlete issue, or like you said that this is a
Oh, just
non-issue.
debunking it, like just checking the facts on people. They don't realize that the professionally trained transgender athletes have to be at the same hormone level as their as biological
Right.
Right.
like biological female. They, like, these are the facts. Like, they, and there's no factual information or statistics that say that they have any advantage. I mean, the science is there, the studies have been done. The facts say that
They
there
said
is
that
no
with
advantage.
Leah Thomas when they took her medals away. They said the same thing about Leah Thomas.
Exactly. For
You
the
know,
yeah, Riley Gaines was doing that whole thing. She didn't even come in second. She came in like fourth or fifth. I don't know what but she wasn't second.
she was upset about the fact that she tied with a transgender person for fifth place. Give me a break, okay? I I mean, come on. And honestly, the medal, the NCAA medal that Leah Thomas won that year,
Mhm.
Riley
Right.
Gaines wasn't even competing in that entire event. So I don't understand what the problem is, other than the fact that Riley Gaines is a transphobe. That's all you
Yeah,
can give that.
that's 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 all she's famous for, is being transphobic.
Yep, yep.
Horrible.
Yeah. So Chris, I didn't know if I was going to mention this, but I'll ask about
Uh-huh.
it.
Sure.
Um, in regards to Mayor Pete, did you hear him responding to the whole thing about transgender athletes? Personally, I didn't have an issue with it, but I understood where people, were upset about it. But it kind of seemed like a BLM kind of Bernie Sanders kind of BLM answer. He was trying to, represent everyone. And he said he understood how people could be concerned, but and then people got upset because they thought that he was turning on them. I think that these issues can be charged in a way that
Oh, that was a
I,
gotcha question. As far
it
as
was
it
a gotcha question.
was a
Yeah,
gotcha question, you
Yeah,
know.
it was a bad question to even ask. It's like they're looking for
And
the
all I can say is that we're how far out now from the election? We can't even be thinking of
6 months.
2028 right now. No, I mean,
No. Oh, we're like
other presidential.
three years away.
do you know who's going to remember that in 3 years? I don't know anybody who's going to remember that in 3 years.
Nobody.
We need to be focusing on 2026 right now, right? We need to
Yeah.
win the House and the Senate. There's not going to be an election in 2028 if we don't win the House and the Senate. I hope people understand that. Okay.
Right.
The only way we stop the bleeding is by making Trump a 2-year president. And if we win the House and the Senate, he gets nothing from the Democrats.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chris, I mean, also, we have to, on a state level, fight Hochul to make sure that we get every penny that is deserved to us for mental health services and for health services in the state budget as well. It isn't all about the federal budget.
Right.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. The state is important because people outside of New York think of New York as this super woke blue liberal state, and it's actually. I mean, I don't think these people have ever been to Long Island or Suffolk County. And
it's very purple at this point.
it's very, very purple. Yeah, it is. Um, you have you know, a lot of Democrats on Long Island. I'm not gonna say a lot. There's a few of them that yes, they call themselves Democrat and they might go to a pride parade, get their picture taken, but when it comes to voting, they will vote. They will compromise on the backs of the LGBTQ community. They will, how politician, they will compromise with the Republicans, and usually, it will be against the LGBTQ community. They will either vote on the provision that hurts us or vote against something that might
And
helps us.
by the way, if they vote against LGBTQ and vote for immigrants, I'm still going to look to primary them. If they say, hey, Laura Gillen is a prime example. John Avlon didn't get elected, but he's another one.
Yep.
And let's just be honest, Tom Swazi, I know people were
Oh,
upset. Deb slammed him several times. So, and I know he's
yeah, he
been
blamed
called.
transgender people for the reason why Trump won. That's a yeah. I'm not a Swazi fan at all.
No.
No, he was a
So,
placeholder. I thought he was a placeholder. Anything was better than George Santos that year, but
right.
Yeah, of course.
he needs to be a placeholder for someone who's got a brain because
He was supposed to be a bridge. He came out of retirement just to like hold it, as you said, Deb. But
he's running again, right?
now he's running again.
Listen,
Yeah,
they never go away. They never go away.
right.
And go.
Cockroaches. They just, you know.
So this this is the link for the Trevor Project benefit uh, event. This is the mobilized link. It'll be in here. Anybody looks for it. I heard I was at an ICE rally, an anti-ICE rally, and I heard that when you put the word protest in a Facebook post, it can and will be taken down. So, Chris, just be aware that if you say anything about, a protest or whatever, this is a fundraiser basically
Yeah.
to give resources to people, to kids, to teenagers who are having a hard time. No teenager should have their resources stripped from them for any reason, like this. Nobody.
We'll when
Okay.
we post this, we'll call it a benefit. That's what we're going
Yes.
to call it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to call it a
Yes.
benefit, and we'll post that in the direct action group, and I'll post it in all the gay groups on Facebook.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
And not only that, we're going to, I know all the groups: Engage Long Island, Suffolk Progressives, of course, Assemble Long Island. We will get this out there, and hopefully we can make this event
It will
extremely successful for you.
be on Twitter. It'll also be on Blue Sky. It'll be on Counter Social. It'll be on Spoutable. It'll be on all the non-Facebook
Wonderful. Beautiful.
venues as well.
So, Chris, is there anything else that you want to share? Your personal story or anything, um, anything going forward?
Well, I could say that before this election happened, I wasn't planning on, I like doing activism and advocacy. I was more focused on, just working and just living my life or enjoying whatever. But I did promise myself that if this man for some reason, got reelected, that I would do everything I can to protect people because I knew this was going to happen. I think everyone that could see this coming. I don't get how people act surprised.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, he wasn't any more loving towards the LGBTQ community in his first term. So why would he?
Mm-hmm.
He's only worse now. He's like Trump 2.0 is like 10 times worse than his first term.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, let's just say whether Trump is alive, not alive, whatever, if freaking JD Vance gets elected, it's going to be supercharged. It's going to be over. I understand we're not looking there, but Chris, I was right there with you. I took 2 days off after he won because I was having panic attacks.
It was bad.
His inauguration, I took off. I couldn't do it. Uh, the and before we go, how do you, when people talk MAGA talking points to you or whatever, whether it be about immigrants or the LGBTQ community, or especially transgender people who, by the way, ignorance is something we have to get rid of. Knowledge is a weapon, and the proper actually it's a tool. We need to debunk all this crap. Whatever it is, but
I don't
all
know.
of this, and this
I
has been going on forever, Deb. You
what you
know more.
guys have. I don't know what you guys have going up there with Hochul, but in here in Massachusetts, which is a great place to live. Actually, right now we need to keep it that way.
Yeah,
Maura Healey just signed a law protecting medical and other providers who take care of women's reproductive rights and transgender care, so that they can't be sued or stopped from doing their jobs. And I don't know if you guys have anything like that in place in New York, but that was a big step in Massachusetts. They just did a big thing on it here.
she's doing some things. My issue with Kathy Hochul is that she's using Trump as an excuse to hold back funding in some cases. And if that's the case, then maybe we need to primary her. We're not there yet, but we are looking at Antonio Delgado, or at least I am. And I don't know, Chris, if you're
I
looking at
like
him.
Antonio Delgado. We need someone that's going to be aggressive. That's going to do
Aggressive, yes.
somebody in their power. They need to run a campaign like Zoran Mamdani ran. He ran a campaign and he was not afraid to talk about protecting transgender people.
No, it was not.
I was at the Trans Day of Visibility rally in the city back in March. I think it was March, or April. I don't remember. And he was there, and this is before he became a household name. And he was not afraid to talk about it. He talked about all the things that Democrats have been afraid to talk about. He talked about it, and he got young people to come out in 105-degree weather to overwhelmingly vote for him. So it works.
Anyone who says that he can't be effective, listen, every single people are under the impression that he's going to push every single democratic socialist policy full force the moment he gets in. That's not the way politics works, and he's aware of that.
Yeah.
And also I have to give it up to Brad Lander. He's the same way. Uh, we now have an infrastructure in New York, hopefully, if when Zoran Mamdani gets elected, we can push that much harder for civil rights, whether it's Hochul or another person in as governor, and we cannot allow
A Republican.
a Republican, Stefanik and Lawler. Oh my God.
Um, Also, just so they can decry Mamdani all they want, but they have just endorsed a Democratic socialist in Minnesota for mayor.
Yep.
And it's a trend, and that's what we need to keep going. I mean, it's catching on. It takes time, but this is how wars are won. We win it a battle at a time. That's the way
Yes.
it is.
Absolutely.
And I give my heart goes out to Tim Walz as well. I think he started this whole thing.
Yeah, I think he
You
did.
know, he like put empathy into the mainstream, and that is huge. Where I maybe that was where the rift was between him and Kamala. I don't know, but he breathes heart into that campaign, and
I don't think there was a rift. I think
there wasn't.
I don't
Okay,
think there was a rift between the two of them. I think that she had to be strong going after
right,
Trump. She had 107 days to get
right.
elected. Okay, and he did his role. I think they had two separate roles in that
So
campaign.
the bad cop, good cop, she goes after fascism, and he reached out to people and talked about healthcare and all of that stuff.
That's what she had to go after. Everything that she said was going to happen is happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Her message was off. She had the perfect message.
Same
Okay.
thing with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton predicted all of this.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to throw something else out there. If Kamala Harris had taken the forefront doing what Tim Walz was doing, that would have blown the campaign out of the water right from the get-go, because people aren't in that mode, that empathy mode. Not anymore here. You know, we needed two sides of the coin in that election. All right, she only had 107 days to get elected.
Yeah.
So-
That's crazy. To even put somebody in that position is crazy. Okay.
So one more thing, and Chris might have the numbers. I know it's in the Trevor Project website that LGBT teenagers and especially the transgender community, the suicide attempt rate and the suicide rate goes up exponentially, and even more so from those minority uh,
Yeah.
people in that community. So there is a need for it, and Trump could care less.
Yeah, he
And
could care less.
Yeah,
He looks down on the LGBTQ community, whether it's trans people or whether it's gay people. You can go back to the 70s and 80s. I think it's well on record his opinion of people with HIV and AIDS.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely on record. You know,
So,
yeah.
he's never been a good guy in his entire life. He was rotten in the womb. I swear to God. He's never been a decent human being.
No.
Not in his social interactions and not in his business interactions either. So, he's just not a good guy. He's not the guy that should be running this country.
Look at, anti-immigrant sentiment has been going on for decades. So has anti-LGBTQ sentiment. So has fear about people with mental disorders. So has, stuff about the pushing against a right to choose. All of this has been out there for decades. Now everything's coming to a head. And Chris, I applaud you. Thank you for helping to organize this event. And if anyone else wants to come on and talk about their experiences and talk about, maybe getting through, and being helped by the Trevor Project, I'm we're amenable to that too. But Chris, thank you for doing this. And hey, I'm sorry that the orange asshole got elected in the first place, but one more thing I do want to say: when we're comfortable again, we need to continue to be on guard. Don't do this again. Don't say, "Oh, finally, time to rest," because we can't do that anymore.
We're not going to be there for look. We get a
The
Democrat.
Nancy Maces of the world, and
2028. If we get to 2028 and we get a Democrat, it's going to take decades to straighten this country out. I mean, what Trump has done here will take time to fix. So
yeah, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of time. I know Joe Biden tried to idiot-proof the government the best he could before he left, but
yeah. But the people are going to have to remain and actually, to be honest with you, nobody should ever disengage from activism.
Right.
None of us. Okay. None of us can ever be comfortable enough. We've proven that we cannot be comfortable here. Okay. Right. The worst possible thing we could ever think of has now happened. Rachel Maddow said it the other night. We are no longer in wait and see mode. That's gone. Right. We have got to move now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, guys.
Thanks so much, Chris.
If
you want to stick around a little bit after, but
I'm going to kill the
see you guys next week, everybody.
All right, I'll see you then. Thank you so much again.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Chris.